Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about Thor, because, somebody has to. Remember Thor?
I haven't watched the new Thor. I
haven't either. I don't care.
I just thought Fat Thor was stupid, and so I was just like, nope, don't care now.
You don't like fat, funny Thor? What about Naked Thor? He was in a...
I didn't even watch it for Naked Thor because I thought it was kind of crap, and I don't think he really wanted to do it. So I was like, nope, I'm not watching it for that reason.
Yeah,
he's not my type anyway, to be completely honest.
Yeah. So let's wow. Okay, let's talk about this, because apparently Chris Hemsworth, to come back to Thor, he said that the tone has to change, which seems like a very veiled dig at Taika Waititi. He's basically like, I don't like jokey Thor. I would like to have, badass Thor.
Yeah, they took Thor from being badass Thor to now being a joke, and that is kind of true.
Sad sack, fat ass Thor instead of badass Thor. And look, Ragnarok had its moments. He said he would like to see Thor be more like he was in Infinity War, and then, Endgame, they turned him into a freaking joke.
Yeah, they pretty much did.
So that's the character now, is just an intergalactic surfer dude bro, and I guess he's going to be in Guardians 3, too, so...
Well, that makes sense, though.
Yeah, but he's going to just be like him and Star-Lord. Like, they're trying to basically make him another Star-Lord character,
Well, no, it's like he's like a sidekick.
Yeah.
He's kind of like a sidekick.
He's a sidekick in
or
everything.
He's like a fanboy or something, and it's
stupid.
He's flipping Thor.
It's Thor. This is like one of the core Avengers. This is one of the strongest, mightiest characters in Marvel Comics history. Long history, tons and tons of stories you could tell, and you turn them into a joke. But we know why. We know why. Current year, we can't have this guy being top dog, right?
He needs to be Kyle and not He-Man.
He needs to be Kyle and not He-Man. There we go. So let's talk about this before we get into it any further. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, over 281,000 subs. Thank you for the support. There's the woohoo. See, I can't do the woohoo. My woohoo sounds very unenthusiastic. It's like woohoo.
Sorry.
Woohoo. Woohoo. If you want to support the channel, go out to shopclownfish.com. We've got new studio pins in. They're very nice. They have 2 backs on them. Look at those. And they're bigger than the last ones.
They look like nipples.
They have nipples? Yes. Yes. You can milk this clownfish.
You can't milk it, but I'm just saying. It looks like eyeballs or nipples or something on the back of it.
We should put nipples on Steve.
Why?
Because...
What? No, we're not putting nipples on Steve. What?
I don't know.
You know who has nipples? Thor.
Thor has
Get
nipples.
Back to the point.
All right.
Sorry.
So Thor Love and Thunder did not do all that well at the box office. Most people forgot it even existed. It kind of came and went. And it was a thing that happened, and it seemed to be pretty brand damaging. And now Chris Hemsworth, who I think his contract is up, or it's going to be up, said that he would return to Thor, but Thor has to be Thor again, has to have a different tone. And there have been comments made before, and we were talking about last night, that he doesn't seem to really like Taika Waititi very much.
He said something about the fact that we talked, I think we mentioned it, that he was doing his Limitless show, and during the Limitless show, they did some kind of DNA testing. And he finds out that he's very susceptible to Alzheimer's, apparently, and I guess his grandfather has it.
Yeah. And
so he's kind of rethinking what he does and where he spends his time and all that. And he basically was like, everybody's like, go do this movie with this, mad genius director, but I'd rather spend months of my life. If I'm going to spend months of my life with somebody on a project, I want to be on somebody who's, wants to work together and is more, cooperative and collaborative. Collaborative is what I'm looking for. And that, basically someone I like,
right,
not in a roundabout, very polite way.
Not just, strip buck naked and be funny. That's, be a bitch, Chris Hemsworth, be a bitch. So yeah, this is a Screen Rant. So this isn't just the alt-right. Thor's MCU return needs a drastically different tone, says Hemsworth. He said it needs a different tone compared to Love and Thunder's comedy if he's ever going to return to the MCU. So it sounds like he's out unless they, shape up.
Make him Thor again?
Make him Thor again. They talked about the God of Thunder undergoing a complete tonal transformation, courtesy of Taika Waititi. The comedic version of Thor remained for the sequel due to the overwhelmingly positive response to the change. Thor Love and Thunder doubled down on the humor, but the movie was met with more divisive reception from critics and fans. The surprising turn of events has left Thor's MCU future in an uncertain place.
I think people were okay with it for one film, you know, and they like to see the lighter side of Thor, but then I think they end with Guardians and stuff, but I think they just took it too far. Like, you know, you want to see him kick ass too. You're like, you're just making him, you know, you need to go back a little more to where he came from.
I think you can have, some jokes, but like, it's kind of like Ghostbusters. Like, you look at, the original Ghostbusters. Oh God, I'm going to drag 2016 into it. But you look at Ghostbusters 1984, there was a relatively serious movie with some humor, an actual kind of attempt at a horror movie with some humor versus 2016, which was all just goofball.
Yeah, which he was in.
And he was also a dumb sidekick character in that movie too. So he's getting typecast, right? Anyway.
It's because he's blonde, isn't it?
It's because he's blonde. Yeah, he could have played Ken in the Barbie movie.
Maybe his taste.
So the actor spoke to Josh Horowitz on the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast. I don't even
That's
know.
That's how I feel most days.
As most days. As Clownfish. We are happy, sad, confused, angry.
All in the same episode.
All in the same episode. We're confused as to why we're talking about fish with nipples.
I was confused.
I'm sure there's some art out there of fish
with
nipples.
Don't want to see it.
Topic of Thor's future came up. Hemsworth was asked what comes next for the God of Thunder after playing so many iterations of the character. And it does seem like it's two different characters. He admitted that Thor's MCU return should have a drastically different tone. This is what he said. He said, you look at Thor 1 and 2, they were quite similar.
True.
Ragnarok and Love and Thunder are similar.
True.
I think it's about reinventing it. I've had such a unique opportunity with Infinity War and Endgame to do very drastic things with the character. I enjoy that. I like keeping people on their toes. It keeps me on my toes. Keeps me invested. I've said this before, but when it becomes too familiar, I think there's a risk at getting lazy because I know what I'm doing. I don't know if I'm even invited back, but if I was, well, that's interesting. But if I was, I think it would have to be drastically different, a different version and tone, everything, just for my own sanity. Thor lost his mind in that last one. He's got to figure it out now.
Yeah, because he wants to see character growth, because it seems like it's regressing, not progressing.
Yeah, so this is really interesting, and a lot of people talking about it, and there are conversations he's had about how he wasn't real comfortable with the nudity in Love and Thunder, but it sounds to me like he's not real happy about Thor being turned into a joke character. And it got worse. It was like, okay, Ragnarok, we made him funny and relatable, that was cool, but then they ramped it up.
Seems like they keep making it worse. Then we made him frumpy fat Thor and so he was like a sad sack and depressed, and I mean,
yeah, I know.
He's the God of Thunder.
So stupid. I mean,
we're making him relatable. Why don't see him making some of the other characters relatable? Making them fat and frumpy because they're depressed.
Of all the core Avengers, Thor historically has been one of the ones that was the least relatable because he was a god. He was kind of an alien. When I was a kid, I actually found Thor to be the least likable. Like, he looked cool and he had cool powers, but he was actually, in the Avengers books, to me, was like the least likable Avenger because it was just like, I can't, he's just like a really buff guy that talks funny.
Okay.
Thou, be thine,
you just insulted all the, good-looking buff guys that talk funny. Like me? You just insulted all the actual good-looking guys that talk. I'm kidding.
So that's fair.
You talk nice.
You
don't talk funny.
I'm fat and funny.
You're not fat, but
I'm not fat anymore.
He's not.
But apparently, Hemsworth not happy being fat, funny Thor, especially now that he has to, and this happens with a lot of people. They have a heart attack. At least he's not crying or everything. But they reassess their life. It just
sounds to me like he's bored with it and he wants to move on to something. He wants the character to progress to something else. Like he said, the first two is one way, the second two is another way, and I just want growth of the character. And it seems like it's going down the tubes, so.
You know what I think is going to happen? I think they're going to reboot the whole MCU, and they're going to recast everybody, and it's not going to matter. They're going to recast them with younger, cheaper actors. And next time around, Thor will be played by a young black lesbian in a wheelchair.
Probably.
Or a frog.
Or a frog.
Comics. He was a frog in the Frog Thor.
Oh, I was very confused.
Yeah, Kermit. Oh my God, that's what they can do with the Muppets. They can cast Kermit as Thor next time around. All right, we're going to wrap this up.
Taika Waititi directing it.
Taika Waititi directing Muppets, Avengers. Ah, shit, we're going to give him ideas. And there's how we get Frog Thor. All right, we're going to wrap it up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.